Hello, are you ready for some more creep on in June? Day 9. This is the base, and this is Creep on June 2025 from Tracy Fox Creative. And the links for the kits are down below. The links for the calendar is down below. You just click on that link for the calendar. It will take you to the calendar, and then you just click on the day, and it'll take you directly to the collaborator who's making for that day. This isn't my day, so if you click on 9, can't remember who it is today, but if you click on 10 tomorrow, you'd be taken straight to Jodie Lewis's make for that. If you click on 11, you'll be taken straight to my make for 11, but not until the 11th. If you click on 11 today, you'll just be taken to my home YouTube channel page. But that's the best way to see who the collaborators are and see their videos each day. But also, please use this yourself and search for hashtag CreepOnJune 2025, and you'll find there's loads of stuff, this fabulous stuff. I've found a couple of new channels that I didn't know about, and I'm really so delighted I found them, and I'm watching them, and it's lovely. So what are we going to do today? Well, as always, it starts with where this bit of poetry from Edgar Allan Poe takes me, and these are snippets of longer poetry that Tracy has put in the kit for each day. And today it is: mountains toppling evermore into seas without a shore, seas that restlessly aspire, surging unto skies of fire. Oh, and this one kind of reminded me of images of the end of the world and chaos and destruction, and so I ended up thinking, being led towards the Danse Macabre. And for those of you who don't know what the Danse Macabre was, during the Middle Ages. It was a kind of art movement, if you could call it an art movement, but of a way of saying that, you know, whether you were rich or poor, old or young, whether you had a good life or a bad life, we were all levelled and equalled in death. We would all die. And so the images that were created were of skeletons coming and collecting various people from their lives and accompanying them to their graves, and it was the way they dealt with death, and death was so common and roundabout, and you know, especially if you know your child had died, we just think of that being so awful nowadays, but it was so commonplace for women to have, you know, maybe 12, 13 children, you know, because there wasn't contraception, and of those 12, 13 children, maybe 5 survived, maybe only 3 survived. So a way of dealing with that was this Danse Macabre, saying there was somebody loving you who'd already died, and they would come and collect you and accompany you, so you didn't need to be scared about death. It was something happening all around, and it was part of the experience of being the essence of who we were, and it didn't disappear after you died. There was religious connotations, but it wasn't only about religion. So that's where I kind of started from, and that meant I had to get out. This is the only bit I've got left of this, my skeleton fabric, which I've spritzed and dyed with antique linen and forest moss to get this kind of colour. I do it on the underside, and I stuck it down here, making wrinkles, because I was trying to make it look as if it was kind of misty, and all these skeletons were dancing through to collect their loved ones, and this is it. Unfortunately, this bit didn't kind of crease up so well, but hey ho. I then took some archival vintage photo and just rubbed that over to catch these wrinkles, to give that kind of misty effect, and inked up the whole thing. So I prepared that beforehand to save time, and also to save my having to edit. I'm going to make this into a kind of, it's going to have, in the inside here, we are going to put her, and we're going to put him. Now he kind of looks like king of the skeletons or something, so my kind of story behind this is he has her heart. He has loved her. He died and he has loved her and cared for her. He has her heart, and so he went to go and collect her in the Dance Macabre, and we're going to put that heart there like that. I'm going to heat emboss this with clear to make it look more like a glass, and then that will go on there and he will go there. And I think we maybe want to do some more decorating, but we'll heat emboss this first. But I've got something else I want to heat emboss as well, which we'll do at the same time, and that is this, because as I was thinking about this I thought, yeah, but what are you going to do? I'm going to ink this first. The Dance Macabre is great, Kirsten, that's good. You've got the wee story of the skeletons, that's lovely, that's all fabulous. But where does you get with the mountains toppling evermore into the seas without a shore, seas that restlessly aspire, surging into skies of fire? And I thought, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do that on here with some distress glaze, using at the bottom half speckled eggs, because it's got the kind of bluey, I mean, there is a kind of really deep blue for sea, but actually, you see, I think this is kind of more the sea colour I want. And then I'm going to use Rusty Hinge for the skies of fire, because I think if I use a red, I did this the other day using Candied Apple, for example. I just think it's going to be too red for the kit and everything, so I'm going to use these two, starting kind of doing the sea, the fire, and having them kind of mixing in the middle. And I'm going to do this in clear. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the clear one first, and then we'll do the other one. And you can see it just makes it more glassy looking. So we'll let that one dry. Now, what we're going to do with this one is I'm trying to think how to do this, because it's how to hold it. I'm going to do the bottom, a bit at the bottom. It's definitely going to be all sea. Rusty Hinge. I'm going to put this now down the centre. I'm also going to put it along that top again, because that didn't stick very well up there. In the centre. Let's put this on here, because that's not going to be changed. Let's start by putting a bit along this edge here that I missed earlier. There we go. Right, and then what I want to do is I just want to, it's so much better if I could find my spoon, because your spoon you can get more out with. Ah, there, it's there. Right, so I'm putting my, you can do this with your fingers if you want, but I'm not keen on, because it ends up all underneath my nails. And right, so I'm letting it kind of, and then I'm going to take some blue, some of the sea colour, and just let some of that slide up into here. Put some over this bit as well. Put some thicker stuff down here. Right, so where is it? Here, it's here. So you can see how that now kind of tells you've got the restless, the seas surging into the skies of fire. And I'm going to make this into a tag. I'm going to mount it on, well, not that, that's too, we should mount it onto a bit of card actually. There, mount it onto that, and then we'll make a tag to go into the pocket, but we'll do that later on. For the time being, let's get on with the inside. So we've got her, and we've got him, and I've already inked them, and I tore them out just because I wanted a torn edge that kind of gives the ethereal feel rather than the harsh sharp edge. Then that's her heart. Let's put up some leaves and flowery things up the other side here. So he's bought her flowers as well. Probably better with these ones that have got a bit of, and then we can put some darker ones over the top of them. Yeah, there we go. So he's got us some flowers as well. Let's start sticking this down, I think. We're not going overly complicated today. So either he's gone himself or he's instructed one of his other people, if he's the boss man, to go and collect her, because he has her heart and the time for her death has come. So let's stick her down. It is the bats who come and bring the news that it's time for somebody. So the bats come in to bring the news, and then we use a slightly bigger one. Is that going to be too big? Yeah, maybe. We'll just use this one. the bats come in and bring the news, and that means, oh, and I meant to do the bats' wings as well, because their bodies are fluffy but their wings are kind of a bit shiny. Am I going to do that? No, we'll just leave it as it is, I think. So let's stick down the bat. So the bats came and told them that the one whose heart he held was approaching death, and so he sent his dance macabre out to greet her and to bring her where he was, to her own place. That's kind of started bending for some reason. I'll give it a wee, put it under something once we've finished. So that's that bit done. And then I've done that the wrong way. That was supposed to be stuck on these. Oh dear. Oh, right. Okay, because I don't think I can stick this on here because of this this is an old address book, and it's, the pages are just wonderful. I'll be so sad when this has oh, I can't believe I did that. That's why I was thinking it's looking a bit kind of, because it's stood out more on this side when I was thinking of it. I'm not going to be able to get this off, am I? No. Okay, it is what it is. It would have looked so much better on that side. So much better on that side. So I'm now wondering what to do here, because the whole point was to have a pocket with that and that on there. Oh, maybe I'll just do it that way round. And we'll put this on here. Feels odd having the pocket that way. That's messing with my brain. But I don't really want to have it all. No, because it needs to go that way, because then you can still open it up. Okay. Silly woman. Silly woman. Let's stick this pocket shut. Yeah. So we just want to do along the bottom and just up a little bit so that it protects the corner. It's I don't want, it's more kind of tuck than a full-blown pocket. And now it's on that fabric, I'm going to have to put let it take longer to grab. Right. Oh, well, it's going to be the same with this as well, isn't it? Because this is going to be really difficult to stick this on here. I can't stick that on there. Right, I know what I'm going to do. Some of these, there's one, this one here has got less. I don't want the addresses to show in case the people are still, or families still live in these addresses. But let's take that bit and yeah, it will roughly go in half, won't it? Let's tear that up and there was a rusty there, it's there. Let's just paper clip this on with this rusty paper clip. If we do the short edge that way, it won't necessarily. There we go. And there's just some writing paper on that now. Oh, this is nothing like it was supposed to be. I was going to decorate this when it was the other way around with the skeletons, with this graveyard picture and enchanted cemetery. But now that's all very much the same kind of colour. I want to put that. On something. What did I use this on? Well, I've already used this somewhere, and this was the bit that was left behind when I cut out the rest of it. So what if I use a bit of this behind? It doesn't need to be the whole. Oh, actually quite like that. Let's do that. Let's use, because I used the crimping scissors there, let's use the crimping scissors again. I don't think I'm going to round these corners this time. I think I'm just going to leave it as it is. And now we just want to make, see, the other thing I was going to do was make a closure for it, but now I've got the paper clip there as well, because I have something particular I wanted to make for the closure. So we are going to make a closure for it, but now because of the way I've had to do this, I can't punch the hole in that I was going to punch in there. So I think we'll just do, right, let's make the card. Oh, we could do this on the card. Let's just do this on the card. Or maybe not. This is 4 centimeters wide, so let's make the card 5 centimeters wide. I'm going to keep it the length it is, so there's plenty of room to write on it with a white pen. Because that's all I'm going to do, is I'm going to round the corners and stick that on. Oh, I really like that. That's very simple in lots of ways, but I really like it. So let's just stick that in there. And let me have a think. Am I going to do the closure? I had something really quite exciting for the closure. For those of you who were with me at the beginning, you'll know that we had an incident with the car and haven't had the car where we were able to go and get our bits and pieces from the car. And one of the bits and pieces I had to get from the car was some beach vines. I will do a video of my beach vines actually and put that up at some point. And this is a limpet ring. I haven't got any limpets. Limpets, for those of you who don't know what limpet is, I'll put a picture of a limpet in here. It's they cling to the rocks, and what happens is when the birds either get, look at the ink on my fingers, when the birds get them off the rocks or they die or whatever, they crack them to open them, and these are growth rings that go up the limpet ring. Up the limpet, and one of the growth rings will crack and you get this limpet ring, and then the sea takes it, and this one's really quite smooth and polished, by the sea and the tide and the sands and everything. And eventually what happens is they will kind of break. And you can see this one's really quite rough with the things. But you also get ones that have been around for ages. And look, is that not a rib? I'm walking along the beach and suddenly going, oh, it's a rib, it's a rib, it's a rib. I just want to have this on here. And what I was going to do is that was going to be part of my closure. I was going to put an eyelet and take it round, and then that was going to kind of hook in to help close it. And now I don't know quite, because this is on the wrong side. I still want to do it because I want to use this, because I love it. I suppose I could just have it separate, couldn't I? I've got some hemp twine here, and I could do it in, see, I could do it in the kind of bone colour. I could do it in grey, I could do it brown, or I could do it in black. I'm going to do it in black. I'm going to do it in black. So let me think, how are we going to do this? Let's cut that off. How are we going to do this? If we just have it wrapped round, first thing I've got to do is I've got to tie this on here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie it on like that. I'm going to heat emboss this with clear to make it look more like a glass, and then that will go on there and tea will go there. And I think we maybe want to do some more decorating, but we'll heat emboss this first. But I've got something else I want to heat emboss as well, which we'll do at the same time. And that is this, because as I was saying, right, so how am I going to do this? Let me think. I could just wind it round like that. I could attach it somehow, couldn't I? Now it's really thin like that. I could just put it, I could just put a small hole and knot it through there. Let's do that, because we've got the fabric the other side. So that will stop it tearing. That will stop this paper tearing, because there's fabric the other side. I'm now going to, because there's fabric the other side, I'm going to have to use a needle to put this through, aren't I? Put that through the hole. Wouldn't normally recommend not having a bit, but as I say, because the fabric's there, it'll be fine. It won't tear, because normally it would tear. I've got this twisted now. Where are we? And I'm just going to tie a knot that way. Oh, and tie one. If I'd thought about it, I could have done it from the other, brought it up from the other side, so the knot would have been on the other side, and then it wouldn't have been seen, but never mind. Let's just cut that. And then I can wrap this round here, and it's not quite long enough. It's either not quite long enough or too long. Or if I do it the other way around, it'll be a different length, won't I? Wrapped it round there, and then it can just, the rib can just hold it closed. Right, not what I had intended to do, but it's done, and it's okay. So we have our bit of twine and our rib holding it closed. We've got a card with a bit of poetry which has been embossed so that the surging seas go into the skies of fire. It's an enchanted ceremony. It's an enchanted cemetery where the dance macabre is taking place. And then we've got some writing space on the back here, just clipped on with this rusty paper clip, because I stuck these on the wrong side. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you learnt to pay more attention to what you're doing. if nothing else. The next one of these will be on the 11th, which is my day. Until then, you take care. Keep crafting. Bye for now. Thank you for watching.